How's it going, guys? Welcome to the first match of the finals of the Gato Cup. I am the AcidCrab, and I am joined here with my friend PyrexiaPlays. Pyrexia, how are you doing tonight?
I'm
Hope things are
good.
going well.
Yeah, ready for game one of the Gato Cup here. About to give the runners the signal.
Yeah,
And,
we're going to send out that starting signal, and then our racers will be starting off here. These are a couple runners who have already had some history throughout this competition, both in the async races in their same group, as well as the last race they had in the semifinals against these two and Top Pack. So really good competition so far. It'll be really interesting to see how it goes for both of them as we start off with Marl Robo. Pretty slow team.
But we have Desert and Prison Shard.
Yeah, that's a good point. We aren't going to have a lot of things gated behind character checks.
But yeah, you are right. This is a really slow start team. If Reggie Gigas was a Chrono Trigger duo, this would be them.
Absolutely. Well, and it's like Luca is slow too, but like you know that Luca's worth the investment, and you hope that you would get the stuff to invest in Luca to fix that speed issue. With Marl and Robo on the squad, it would be really challenging to fix both of their speed issues without some luck.
I have a feeling that we're losing one of these party members at some point. Probably keeping one of them.
I think you're probably right.
Yeah.
And it could depend on techs and gear. It could help decide that quite a bit. But we see them starting off. They're going to do a little bit of looting. They're going to do some shopping. We see PhysicShebang take the first step into 1000.
Gonna look at that snail
grab
item.
Those 2 free key items, or available key items, not free, since it does cost us about 10k.
Yeah, that's a lot of your starting gold. That's, yeah, at least in these flags you have enough to afford it outright. I know some of the harder flags using Star Theft might even afford it. But it's just a Toma's pop, so that is only Giant's Claw access. Not the worst thing to see gated. You know you have it available at some point if you need it.
Yeah, that snail stop peak is just so nice because 10,000 gold is a really nice weapon for somebody at Melchior's shop or at one of the other shops you may come across. So, you know, deciding if it's worth paying that for that item or if you can spend that gold elsewhere and hope you don't have to come back later is like a big part of it here. As we get the Carpenter item on PhysicShebang's side, and we get a Chrono Trigger, a piece of the future Go mode.
You'll love to see it. So Black Omen's on the table. We'll talk more about Go modes when we see more. Jazer has entered Guardia Forest for their grind fights. This will get him, what, 2 techs and a few levels?
Yeah, throughout the whole forest here. He'll have to take 2 fights to get 2 techs, but I think I've seen Jazer just do this top fight twice to get that. As PhysicShebang continues nabbing some tabs, at least grabbing that ultra valuable speed tab.
Yep, it's definitely worth it. And Physics is going to do a little shopping, I'd imagine, over at Melchior. He is guaranteed to have 1 good weapon for every party member. By good, I mean like mid-grade, but definitely better than what you start with.
Yeah, it can be very handy for some of these characters.
I believe he's also guaranteed to have revives and shelters.
He is, yep.
Okay.
Jazer hits that second fight.
What was that? A laser
spin?
Okay, and
I
Aura.
guess that was just the first. Did not get both techs out of that yet.
No, but at least he can Aura farm now. And yeah, these runners, they all have their own coaches, but you could tell the strategies are very similar. Physics going into the forest as Jazer left it. We'll see the first new character on Jazer's side as we go in the cathedral here.
As much as a Luca would be awesome to pull here, I think you would be hoping for somebody a little faster this
How about a
to
French
help balance you out.
or a frog? So you have all the quest people.
Frog would be all right.
We'll
That's
see.
kind of the tricky bit is I can't really think who I would want for this. And it is a Luca. So this is a good team, and a team that you can plug a third member into later, depending which way you build. You may be able to deal with the speed in Gato Cup flags too a little bit better. Speed tabs are a little bit more apt to show up.
Yeah, I believe last race there was just a couple enemies that dropped them as a battle reward. Well, that was in the Black Omen, but still, I think
Yeah,
all
it makes
riders
a
had
big
2 characters with
difference.
star speed.
Alright, we're at least gonna see Jazer come in and do the front of Cathedral here.
Did we see him do back Cathedral maybe because of this like relatively weaker starting team?
Maybe. I think would be kind like that has not been kind of the standard play we've been seeing from these runners in most of our asyncs and live races throughout this event. But that's not to say that it couldn't happen. They're more apt to push forward with what they have and hope for like an early gate key to switch or something like that. But Cathedral early could be an excellent play here. If it gets you a better combination of 3 party members, that could make a huge difference for end game. I just don't know if these runners, if that's the type of gamble they'll make here. Jazer does head out the front of Cathedral as PhysicShebang starts playing the organ to head into that bromide room at least. And Jazer's going to set up the bridge now.
Yeah. Setting up the Xenon bridge is always good on Jazer's side. Oh, did we get a look at Luca's text yet?
She doesn't have any yet, because she's only done that one fight so far.
Ah, okay.
And Robo started with Laser Spin. I don't know if Laser Spin would be enough to get you through the first few fights of Hecarim. It might. It'd be a little level based, I think. Oh no, it's doing enough. Jazer is going to go ahead and grab that snail stop item. So Thomas Pop is in play.
Yep,
PhysicShebang is heading into the back of Cathedral, so you were absolutely right about that.
I'm glad we have a little divergence because this race will be won by one choice or another, and it's just fun to see some divergence in these runs.
I really like this play because I think you're right that like the speed issue really would have potentially dogpiled, and it would have hit hardest in like the early mid game as you entered like your 2nd, 3rd, 4th dungeons is when it really maybe have mattered depending what bosses get rolled. But I'm wondering who it'll be and how much it'll change the party. Because like for example, a Chrono coming in right now, like there's some really good teams you can build out of that. Whether it's Luca, Marl, Chrono, getting Ice Sword 2 and Fire Sword 2, Antipode 3. But like there's some really good teams you can build out of these, including Girl Power with Ayla.
Oh yes.
So really interesting to see what we end up with.
Okay.
Jazer does go ahead and dump out the pop as well.
That unlocks Giant's Claw, which definitely a little too low level to attempt at this point, but Wouldn't surprise me if they get another like good screen clear tech and just decide to run it anyway. Probably for Denadoro at least. Okay, so my prediction, or my wish list, is we get Ayla, and the White Rock is the first rock we get. And we get some Poyozo dance. At least on physics side.
Maybe so. Physics is gonna find our first boss here.
Yep, and the fun thing about the flag set for this race is that Boss Rando is on, so you most likely won't see the vanilla Yakra back here. If you see Yakra the 13th, we call that French vanilla. Or, I don't know. What would you call that? If we see the wrong time version of Yakra here.
Yeah, that could work.
And we get...
There are certainly bosses that would be trouble to find here. Something like a Retinite would
or
be
a Flea.
unfortunate.
Was this Terra Mutant? What, the blue one? Oh, Mega
Yeah, I was
Mutant.
gonna
Okay,
say, I
this
think
is
it's Mega.
relatively
So this is the
easy.
easiest one to deal with. Because you can use the most tools on it. So this shouldn't be too bad at all. Jazer hitting Fire Punch, which could be very valuable for if we run into an early Lavos spawn or an Elder Lavos spawn. One of those single target bosses.
Yeah. Oh, the other thing about Boss Rando is, like, no matter who you find in a spot, they will have roughly the same HP that that spot should have. And there's a whole Excel spreadsheet of if someone appears at this spot, what they have. You can find that in our Discord. Please join, Jets of Chime. Really fun group of people, and maybe you could be in the next Gato Cup. Dogs are driving me crazy and won't sit still.
Alright. PhysicShebang trading about half a Hecarim Cave for an Ayla.
It's happening. It's happening. My prediction. And oh, we don't swap her in? Interesting.
Maybe not until looking at text and stuff.
Yeah, that makes
Deciding
sense.
where we're going. Usually runners are going to be looking to do Hecarim Cave like Jazer did here because it's just such an efficient tech point dungeon. There's like no other dungeon you have access to this early that you walk out of as strong as you do Hecarim, like as big of a difference walking in and out. Dinodoro is kind of the opposite. You don't walk out of Dinodoro almost any stronger than when you walk in, which is real unfortunate in this early game. So Hecarim Cave is just a really solid pick here. And we do see the laser spin hurting a little bit and being like less than 10 damage short.
Oh, yeah, that's rough. Maybe throw a magic tab on Robo if you're gonna keep him. Although it'd be strange to do when you have a Luca in the party. Oh, so Physics set up the Xenon Bridge but didn't do the check. Is going to follow Jazer into Hecarim, it looks like. So we'll have a little bit of synchronization here.
And here are some of the speed issues being shown off here on Jazer's side. Of kind of having to go through this and having to wait for all the animations of all the enemies before being able to do your AoE.
Ooh, that's tough. But as you can see, there's lots of tech points here. I think that was area bomb and double bomb, it looked like.
Very nice.
Yeah.
Very useful techs if you've memorized where Robo needs to be for different bosses.
which is complicated 1,000-fold by boss rando being.
It is.
You can remember where is this boss going to appear specific when they're in this spot, which doesn't change too much, but it could depending on how many parts of this new boss versus the original. But yeah. No worries, here is the R series fight, which is annoying if you can't take him down fast, but this double bomb will do pretty big damage, I want to say.
Yeah, and that HP for the boss is being split between all of these, so they have very low HP in most spots.
Oh yeah, so this is a single unit boss being split into 4, so they probably have maybe 1,500, or they died to 1,200 or something.
Yeah, they won't have much health at all.
Yep, there goes down to the last. Oh, the last one is an artifact.
Ooh, a tab invest drop. It's gonna reward both of our runners.
Hey, you'll have to see it when you have a Luca in the party.
See, I think PhysicShebang is kind of in an interesting decision point here, because you don't necessarily want to walk through here with Ayla, because you need Robo for your AoE, and there's not another member that you're probably thinking about actually dropping from the team.
We haven't checked yet. Tailspin could be her first tech, which is Ayla's magic
That could
attack.
be.
And it's an AoE.
We do get jerky for our trouble through Hecarim, so really we did it for the tab invest.
And the tech,
But see,
and the
like,
XP.
in a lot of seeds, I would be looking at rotating Robo out for Ayla, but I would be really nervous to do it until I had Fire 2 or Ice 2 to be able to get me through those same fights.
That makes a lot of sense, yeah. I didn't see what Jazer bought. Maybe just supplies, maybe bought a weapon. Oh, we have a cat petting. The cat has been pet on Jazer's side.
Alright, Jazer finishing off that free heal as PhysicShebang continues through Hecarim, does this last fight before the save point. As we continue the finals of the Gato Cup here at Jets of Time. This is the Chrono Trigger Randomizer, open world randomizer. This is the finals of our latest new player tournament. So everything from the chest contents to the rewards for different quests to what characters you get at recruitments is randomized. In this flag set, we have a few other things that are randomized, like the bosses. What bosses are at each place is also randomized. Jazer set up the bridge and is now heading in to finish it. PhysicShebang looking at a little bit different strategy here for this boss. It was reset out.
Yeah. Oh, with a sight scope on the R series, they only have 525 health, so yeah, these will go down easy for physics too. Looks like Jazer reset out of the castle. The reward was Dreamstone, which would have been a different go mode from what we already have a piece of. So I don't blame him for noping out. Just hopefully remembers it's there in case it comes up later. Yep, and Physics is going to collect their jerky while Jazer heads in the desert.
Yep, we have a few other options open here. Desert may be a key item being used as a key item check. It may also just be being used to grab some gear and levels, potentially. The options we have are this desert boss that, depending what it rolled, could be problems for us. We also have Dinodoro, and we have Giant's Claw open to us as well.
And 2 or 3 of those are much harder than Dinodoro. So you're right, whoever is the boss of this place could make or break this run, but one of those 3 places has to have the pendant or gate key, so we don't get soft locked.
Yeah, or some path to it.
Right, like Prism Shard into gate key or pendant.
Grabbing a few more techs. Not a great tech list, though.
It's a very rusty.
And we do
phase
see
runners.
PhysicShebang sticking with Robo and setting up that bridge check as well. May reset out the same way. Kind of understand the argument both ways for resetting here. Obviously, like, if you don't need the Dreamstone, some would say it's wasted time, but there are kind of meme level legendary drops on this bridge at times.
Especially
and
if
also and also you do get a little bit of reward for beating the boss. The problem is, like, if you wait and do it later, you'll always get through this section faster because you won't have to actually fight the boss usually.
What do you mean you want to fight?
So it'll be interesting to see what boss it is, because there are still bosses that would give us quite a bit of trouble.
Like Nizbel
pops up on screen for Jazer.
Jazer did pop
and
out
we
of
do
save
reset.
before that, right?
I don't think so, no.
He cleared the desert and then reset right at the end? Oh, that's some time loss. I don't know if I go back.
That is the danger. You really have to respect this desert boss spot. Because, like, even stuff like Northern Cape Magus would have been difficult there. Retinite, Vanilla Retinite would have been almost unkillable there. Like, you've really got to respect the boss spot.
Yeah, if you're not prepared to fight anything that shows up here, taking the time to go out and save is worth, well, about probably 10-15 seconds.
But we'll see
plus
how
all the loot
plays
you'd be
out.
sacrificing, which was some good stuff down here. Magic Tab, Red Mail, and an Elixir, okay.
And what's interesting is if we do have to kind of nope out of this dungeon for now, like, I guess we run up Dinodoro. We're not super strong for that boss spot, but odds are we'd be able to take what was there. But Giant's Claw would be a more difficult boss spot.
Yeah, unless you have an early flare and maybe a silver gold stud to help out. Giant's Claw is a real tough sell for me right now. In about 5-6 levels, different story.
Jazer's equipping and going back in.
Oh, okay, so he is going to go for this.
Yeah, grabbed the swag chest. It was a gold earring. Equipped that on Luca to make sure she'd stay alive to Mega Bomb. And maybe able to push through this, so...
Do you know roughly how much HP this spot has? I guess it's a triple normally, so going to 1 means this Nizbel's kind of beefy.
My gut says something like 35. Oh, it is 35. That's so funny. I was like adding it up. I was like, I think each half of Retinite is 1500, and then probably 500 or less for the middle thing.
That's funny. Thank you, Lord Batsy.
4,000. That makes sense.
Yep. Oh, and did you notice the Elder spawn on the physics side?
Very nice.
I believe this party, with this tech list, is pretty well set up for this, or maybe not.
It's not a very high HP amount. So just managing your techs right and finding those single targets is going to be everything here. Finding what you can use. The nice thing is that the counterattack from Elder Lava spawn only hits one party member. So if you do have to use things like Mega Bomb, you can get away with it a little bit easier in this fight.
Yeah, Physics was using their potions to make sure Luke was topped off before throwing that Mega Bomb. Oh, that still hit like a truck though.
It does, but you get to hit like a truck too if your only other option was using Fire 1. Might have done half damage or something.
Yeah, they'll be taking these AoEs that whole time as well. Jazer's doing pretty well against Nizbel here without any lightning to help out. Would Shotgun Robo technically count?
It does, yeah, absolutely.
Okay.
Yeah, but really you can use any magic to damage. The lightning is more helpful in that it shuts down his script. So he kind of stops doing stuff to you as much. And it lets you use physical, which is the biggest part of it, is you can then start hammering away with stuff like Fire Sword 2. It's like half magic, half physical. The lightning damage is real handy. Both of these fights dragging on just a little bit, but I think we're going to see the end of Lavo Spawn here.
This should be the killing blow as Jazer finishes his Mizbel fight. Gets a moral weapon upgrade, but it's not really that helpful for her. We're never really using her for her attack.
That haste will be helpful with this
That
party.
is very helpful. Nice speed tab, power tab. Is that +3?
Oh, I didn't catch it.
I think power tabs roll +3. Okay, Jazer's not. Oh, he's turning in jerky. Okay, I was like, go set up Robo. You're right there.
PhysicShebang running up Dinodoro to give us a little divergence. We'll have to see which one of these pays off, or if they both pay off in different ways.
Why is Jazer going 2000 AD?
Just probably forgot to turn it in. It's happened to the best of us.
Yeah. Okay, I thought this was some like big brain play, but just forgetful. That's alright. We'll come back to a nice church in a forest, get some lapises as a special shop, and see if this has a progression. Gonna sell first. Okay, Jazer. There's a Kaiser arm at the shop, nothing too crazy. And Robo's picking up Robo. How delightful. Drum roll.
PhysicShebang getting past the one unskippable fight in Dinodoro and continuing the run. And what did we find for our time in desert? The pendant.
Yep. So I think okay, he's gonna get his loot from the jerky. We could see some divergence here. Ooh, what if Gate Key is on Denadoro?
Definitely
And then
could
Physics
be.
can go to Woe, while Jazer goes to the future. I don't think I've seen a Woe play yet in this Gato Cup, so be nice to see.
No, it's a little bit harder to justify when the loot's good kind of everywhere than in kind of a more standard race flags where, you know, the loot up there would be way better than most of the places you've been.
That's a good point.
Also,
I know
this
the
team,
harder item flags.
this team would struggle a lot with their speed up there too. You usually want to have at least 14 speed on your AoE for WoW. I'm a big WoW fan. I love WoW.
Woe is Crab. Right, White Rock. Dang it! Wait, this is the Blue Rock team though, isn't it? Marl, Robo, Luca.
Luca Robo
Oh,
Magus.
Magus. Ah, so close. I got too excited.
All right, that brings PhysicShebang up to the top of Dinodoro as Jazer goes to prison.
Yep. I don't know why they thought this robot is guilty.
He's guilty of stealing our hearts.
Yeah, very guilty then. You're telling me you wouldn't want a robo? I thought this was a vanilla fight on physics side before forgetting that the first fight is always Masa and Mune. So now we'll see who the real boss is here at Denadoro.
Yeah, and there still are bosses that would be quite rough here. North Cape Magus, when you don't have like great tech options to hit him with, would be rough. Same for like a Dalton or a Dalton Plus.
You keep
But we
saying
do
his
get
name.
Atropos.
Has North Cape Magus hurt you, Crab?
Yes, he wiped me in desert in an
Oh,
LOC tournament.
it's all coming together.
Yeah.
Okay, but Atropos should be a relatively easy fight here. She does hit like a truck, but I think our runners are sufficiently leveled for here.
We don't have great dual techs to rely on yet, and that's a big part of kind of this mid game is finding a couple dual techs that can push you into late game. This team's really gonna struggle. Part of Jazer's play here may be taking a look at who's at the dome in the future.
Yeah, so
Trying to
nice
get a
see.
better third.
Who do we want in the future
Well,
that makes Jazer's team better?
I'd say Chrono.
Well,
Chrono would be pretty big. Even Frog.
Mhm.
You'd gain access to Glacier and Frog Flare eventually. I think Frog would bring more to this team than maybe Robo would. But it's hard to say. Oh, we do run into Red Knight. Red Knight's going to be really tough here if we haven't pulled Ice yet.
Yeah,
Or Water,
I
I mean.
think we have.
Because we're going to have to rely on hit stats and getting over the evasion. This is kind of a nightmare spot to run into him because we also, not that Jazer has anybody to switch to, but you also can't switch party members before this boss.
Right. Well, maybe Mar will just put haste and re-raise on everybody and brute force it.
Yeah. He just has very high evasion. And your hit stat for, especially Robo's hit stat, is really pretty bad.
Okay, but then that Valkyrie we picked up for Marl earlier is actually going to pay off.
Good.
She's putting up 281 damage, like, that's not bad. What order would you take Red Knight out in here? Bottom, top, middle?
See what our reward for Dinodoro is here. Yeah, see, Robo's really struggling here. The kind of the way out of this is if you would happen to get a dual tech, physical dual techs don't roll evasion.
Okay, so guaranteed tech saves the day.
Yeah, so you could use certain physical dual techs. We get a clone from for PhysicShebang. And an easier time if physics goes to if physics looks to desert, Physics will have an easier time maybe than Jazer did getting through that fight a little bit. We're still missing all of our late game tools.
Yeah.
Jazer portion through this fight and gets us the rest of the way through it. Blue mail drop, robo tackle coming up. That's going to be the start of some of our power. If robo does stick in the party, which is unclear. This is still early enough in a seed that you could swap a party member. You haven't invested anything into them yet. You're just trying to build the best in-game team you can.
Right, that's why runners will usually save their tabs till later in the seed when they know who they're taking to the end.
Yeah. Sometimes there's times like you get Luca at Cathedral and you're like, well, Luca's staying and speed helps her so much and I have to.
Yeah.
But you're absolutely right, like with a lot of characters, like in this seed I wouldn't have put anything on Robo because I would have been expecting to swap him out at some point, kind of. The same could be said about Marl if you really like the Luca Robo pairing. Physics is heading in and at least looting Desert. Probably gonna grab the boss while we're in here too. As Jazer is gonna grab some of the sealed doors, do a little shopping. I'm really interested to see if Jazer checks that character spot recruit. Physics is gonna take on the boss here.
Now, still gonna struggle. Maybe a bit easier for having a little more levels on Jazer, but
A little
still
bit,
tough.
yeah.
It's just tough.
You don't get a lot. Like, I think the boss for Denadoro Mountains gives you like the same amount of tech points pretty much as one of the fights in Hecarim Cave. Or one of the desert fights, for example. So like, not a lot more. Not a lot stronger, but we did gain a few things up there. We gained a speed tab up there. So if I didn't catch if we invested that, but if we did, that'd be so it'll be interesting, but should be set up. Just have to play it safe, mega bomb your way through it, and Jazer is heading in to find out who is at the dome here. I think this is a good play. I think 2 of these party members would be excellent. I think it would be really hard to fix all 3 of them, and it is a chrono in the future.
Okay, so you have Chrono now. Who's your team on Jazer's side?
I would go Luca, Marl, Chrono, kind of the OG trio. Ice Sword 2, Fire Sword 2, Haste, Life 2, and Flare is amazing on its own. So like kind of that whole combination means you can kind of do whatever. And we got a Swallow from Jerky, Nate says in chat, which is amazing. So yeah, I would be married to this team and just trying to make sure I get the tech points to get spin cut.
Yeah, Jazer felt that same energy and just immediately started investing tabs. Like, this is his team.
Yeah, I like it. I think it's a good play. Because you don't have to invest anything in Chrono. You already have a good weapon. He doesn't need the tabs. You can spin the power tabs on him if you'd like, but like he's not asking for any of the magic tabs. You can save them for either the healing or the damage. As Jazer heads straight into Sun Palace, knowing
a dragon tank.
Yeah, he knows he's 1 item away from go mode, and he's hunting it. He's gonna run to the quickest checks he can think of to find it. Little does he know, we know, that piece is on Denadoro, which may not come immediately to mind. A lot of times when you veer away from a dungeon like that, you kind of are hesitant to go back because you don't want to give up the time you saved by skipping it. You know what I mean?
Yeah,
so it'll be really interesting to see what decisions get made here. I could easily see an Eris play, and then if we find Gate Key anywhere along the way for Jazer, we may not look at Dinodoro again. PhysicShebang on the other hand, gonna go turn this in, get the pendant, and then head to the future, knowing kind of where Go Mode is, but with a rougher team. So we'll see if, once you've got Go Mode in hand, it's kind of hard to feel like you can switch teams.
Yeah, but Physics will have the chance in the future if they want to pick up that Chrono, because that's his Go Mode. Do we talk about Go Modes yet this seed?
Yeah, let's mention it here. So we kind of have 3 main Go Modes that can come up in a seed. The first one is if you find the pendant, the Chrono Trigger, and the clone, you can go through Death's Peak to Black Omen Go Mode and fight Zeal as your final boss. The second Go Mode that comes up is if you find Frog and both pieces of the Broken Masamune, then you can fix the sword, go through Magus Castle, and that opens the door in Zeal for you to go Ocean Palace Go Mode and fight Lavos. The third option would be if you went through, if you got Ruby Knife and Dreamstone and Gate Key, then you can go through Tyranno Lair to that same Zeal Ocean Palace Go Mode to fight Lavos at the end. So, a lot of that to say that PhysicShebang has Go Mode.
Yep. All he has to do is everything you said for the Black Omen, plus I go to the future first, which is the Prison Break that Jazer just did.
Yep. And we're
He did
going to
get
see
the
where
Hero's
Jazer
Medal.
heads.
I wonder, that's a free key item, basically swap or, pay Hero Medal here, get key item.
Yeah. And so Jazer has that.
What can we see here that helps Jazer? We haven't checked the burrow, so there could be a vanilla Frog. If we somehow get 2 quick sword pieces and Frog is at burrow, that's something.
That's something. I think if you're Jazer and you know what we know, you're hoping maybe for Gate Key and to find the Ruby Knife quickly after that. But honestly, like, Jazer's going into these dungeons looking for that clone. He doesn't know it's on Dinodoro.
Yeah, that's what I fear. So it's he did check the bridge. He knows where Dreamstone is. Never got it. So there's a chance if we get, like you said, Geki, Ruby Knife. This is still a really close fight. But again, we know that's the problem.
PhysicShebang was a little bit stronger from bridge too. That boss reward isn't terrible. Like I said, you don't end up as strong as you do from like going through Hecarim or Giant's Claw even. But that probably helped with that desert fight a little bit for them too.
Oh, most
Jazer
definitely.
chasing that rat, the hardest part of the mobile port of this game with touch controls.
Yeah, tell me about it. I was so excited to play it on my phone, and then this rat nearly got me to rage quit.
It's really rough. I've all endinged every port, and that was the hardest one. Now Jazer is going to be able to grab the sealed door loot while they're here.
Yep. That's one of the flags is pendant charge. As soon as you get to the future, your pendant is ready to open up all those sealed chests and doors. Let's just give him a rainbow right here for his trouble.
Oh, it's a haste helm.
And this last
That
one
is
too.
That's unlikely to actually be 2 haste helms there. When you open 2 chests back to back real fast, a lot of times it can do a text glitch where it loads the message again. I
Okay.
don't think he actually pulled 2, but maybe.
Yep. Physics did save Fritz. That's a very kind thing to do. Doesn't have Chrono yet, so that was purely altruism. So Fritz, if you're watching, you're welcome. I didn't catch if Jazer saved their Fritz.
I think it's technically in the rules document.
What, you must save Fritz?
Yes. Fitz rule wrote the rules document.
It's an instant 10-minute penalty for not saving Fritz.
We take away one of your party members' slots.
No triple text for you.
Alright, what could Jazer get here? Like I said, the kind of unfortunate bit of this is that Jazer is hunting the one thing we know can't be here.
It's the Moonstone. So, Guardia Castle now has 2 checks in the basement. Oh, but no, because you need the gate key. So the Sunstone
You
is
need gate
handleable.
key
Yeah.
and the prism shard.
Okay, I think this is
But
a
we're
hero
gonna go
metal
turn
check.
in Hero's Metal.
Yeah.
Yeah. The thing is, like, once you've pulled Hero's Metal and then you've gone and done one other dungeon, you're like, well, now if that's what I needed, I need to know now. Because again, like, this is one of those things where it's really easy as a viewer or a commentator to kind of forget the division and info, right? Like, there's a lot of stuff we know that Jazer doesn't, and the biggest piece of that is that clone is on Dinodoro. So he's checking all of these places, really looking for that clone. He's doing all, like, this is the play you do when you're one item away, is you go to the quickest go mode dungeons.
Yeah. If Jazer had just gone to Dinodoro right that second. On the surface, I like this play because you get more value out of here. There's good loot, good tabs.
Yeah.
And now I'm confident these guys will take this boss down.
Yeah, exactly. And also, from Jazer's point of view, like, in his opinion, he may have gone to Desert when his opponent went to Dinodoro. So, like, if it's on Dinodoro, he's behind. He may feel that way, whether it's true or not.
Yeah, because Dinodoro's a Sphere
like,
0 check.
You kind of have to go, I already gambled away from that. I can't go back now. I gotta keep chasing on this end. You know what I mean? Gotta push my advantage over here.
Yeah.
And so I think that's interesting because we don't even know what's on Giant's Claw here. But it could be impactful. It could be Gate Key. Which
Gate Key,
wouldn't
then
quite
you
be
do
go
Guardia
mode.
Castle. Turn in the shard. Oh wait, no, we don't have Prism Shard, do we? Why did I think
Yeah, we don't have Prism Shard.
Oh, because we talked about Marl being the party at the beginning of the game.
Yeah.
My brain just was like, yeah, they have Prism Shard.
PhysicShebang pushing through this difficult night. Noticeably with a couple more techs than when Jazer did it.
Yeah. Much easier fight for PhysicShebang. And is going to just
still
plow on through
long and slow,
Black
but
Omen.
It seemed a lot safer. Jazer was not hoping for a Grand Leon from Burrow, by the way.
No, definitely not. So that makes... If it had been Gate Key, this whole thing plays out differently, but... it's... You know, it's game 1 of the Gato Cup finals. Anything can still happen, and either way, we have more games ahead of us.
So here's the thing. This could be Gate Key. This could also be Ruby Knife, which makes the Gate Key even more attractive. But we also have Genodome, and we have Factory into Woe still on the table.
Factory into Woe is diabolical.
Yeah, Factory into Woe is kind of a last option for most runners. It's not something you tend to gamble on, because it does cost you some time to go for it.
I feel like you do Dinodoro before you
PhysicShebang
do that.
making it into the future.
Yep, gonna do his loot checks. Do we think he goes for Chrono, or is this just like, let's go to the end?
That's a really good question. It would all be how he feels in this moment, and if he feels like he's ahead or behind. I feel like, honestly, because if you feel behind going into this, you're much more likely to, like, not take the time to try to strengthen your position.
Now he had go mode at 40 minutes, so he might not be feeling that behind, if at all.
No, but Jazer's been killing it this whole competition. We've seen like sub 120 times in practice seeds from Jazer. It's just I wouldn't be surprised if they head straight for it just because they're feeling the burn. Or because they look at who's left and they go, Chrono's the only one that would make a huge difference. And maybe they don't want to put the time in, or they don't want to put the time in for a 1 in 3 chance.
Yeah. Now the real question is Physics going to turn the new off before he leaves?
Physics does have Ayla in the party, though. Which is great.
Oh, I didn't notice that.
I like that because it fixes your speed issue while also adding to your single target damage.
And don't forget, Twin Charm.
Oh, yeah. I think it's only 10% more increased chance, though.
You
For
do
Twin
it for
Charm
the
over
walls.
regular Charm.
You think Physics will get the swag tab off to the side here?
Could be.
Not risking it. Don't blame him. This section is also a pain in the mobile version, by the way.
I always feel like this is the only section of the game where my thumb feels like it's slippery on the D-pad. I'll be like, oh, I didn't notice it felt this way until literally standing at this tree.
I swear your thumb just makes oil the second you hit Death's Peak.
It's wild. Alright, Jazer finishing off that boss and being rewarded with a gate key.
Oh, man. Okay.
Jazer might be cooking and might think he's cooking.
He knows
We'll find
Dreamstone
out
is
what's
at the
for
chef.
dinner.
Yeah.
Yep, but you still need a ruby knife.
Good one. No, he's going to 1,000 or yeah, 1,000 AD.
Turn in the gate key.
Right. You have to get. This is one way to go through the closet here.
If you're PhysicShebang, this is kind of what you want. You want your opponent to kind of have things to chase on this other path. Continue to lead away from Dinodoro.
The red herring trail.
Yeah, which I like because we have 3 go modes, may not end up being a red herring. We happen to know that Frog is on Dactyl, which isn't super relevant, but that may mean Reptite has to lead towards Ruby Knife or a sword piece, but we also have Mount Woe. So like, I don't know, it's real interesting.
And
Jazer all of a sudden has several options.
If Ruby Knife is blocked behind Prism Shard or Moonstone, it's gonna be real hard for Jazer to do anything here. You think he's gonna go to Reptite there?
Probably so.
Okay, yeah. This for a pro runner, this is not a very long delve, so I don't hate this play.
No, and it is a dungeon that you walk out of stronger than you walked in.
Especially if you get Secret Tunnel! Looks like Jay's gonna reroll a few times for it. Not gonna wait forever. Yeah. I think 1 or 2 rerolls is fine, but you gotta move on with your life.
PhysicShebang doing an excellent job of running up Death's Peak here. Hitting the Cracker fight here, but other than that, doing like great skips through the caves, and we'll be heading to the last section here to meet our boss before Black Omen. Jazer, on the other hand, continuing deeper into the catacombs to see who took Nizbel's house.
Nizbel too.
Could be.
That'd be so funny. Now, PhysicShebang is taking this fight instead of running. I know in the, I don't know if it's still the meta, but in the 100% or any percent route of Chrono Trigger, you would take these fights to get a lot of XP late in the game because you can get a bunch of crackers on screen. But I don't see a Jets runner really ever taking this fight.
No, but I am usually coming into this boss fight kind of thinking of it like alcohol. Like, I want to be as close to 21 as I can before I go in. So it could be something like that. Maybe they checked their levels, they noticed they were a little weaker than they'd like to be for this spot, and just knew that maybe this would be an alright grind. Or maybe they're a few tech points away from like an AoE screen clear, a Fire 2 situation.
We are hurting for a Fire 2 or Ice 2. Tailspin is not cutting it unless you want to put some magic tabs on Ayla.
Jazer just showed us Flare is coming up on Luca, so that is probably the case on PhysicShebang's side as well. PhysicShebang is a few desert fights down in XP. Or in tech points, rather.
Oh, that's right.
So not a huge difference, except that that's a really tech point filled area. So like that might be like a 25-30 tech point difference.
Would you have a Zombor in the Reptite lair? It's like close enough. Like what is he a zombie of? Could be a zombie dino.
We do have North Cape Magus. Say his name and he appears. We believe in Magus.
You're very excited to see this North Cape Magus, huh?
Oh, yes.
You've been wishing for this, to inflict this on our runners since the start of the seed.
I prefer regular Magus.
Yeah. I don't know. I feel like North Cape Magus is supposed to be a relatively easy fight. Because you don't lose it, really, ever, in the vanilla game. Jazer is through their Zombor fight and will be rewarded with something. Honestly, just Ruby Knife. Give us a Ruby Knife right here.
That would be a heck of a race.
Because then Jazer would be a no mode.
It's the Ruby Knife.
Oh my god! I willed it into
existence.
existence.
This is a race. Now, there is a bit of a misnomer about the length of Black Omen. Black Omen is not like the longest thing in the world. It can be done pretty quick. Death's Peak is a very fast sub-dungeon. Like, even compared to like Tyranno Lair, you can just get through Death's Peak so much faster usually. Which physics is pushing through this difficult Magus fight as Jazer heads to Woe.
Wait, why would he head to Woe? Does he not know Dreamstone's on the bridge?
Unclear. That or he
Still wants to climb.
I'm not sure. Well, yeah, we'll have to see what he's got going here. Could have forgotten.
Is the coach
or
allowed
could
to tell
feel
them?
like the
Because they have their coach with them, right? Or are they free? Like,
I think
solo for
they do. Yeah, they do have their coaches with them. So maybe they're just coming in here for some XP or something. But we'll have to kind of keep an eye on them as PhysicShebang finishes off that North Cape Magus. Thank goodness he's gone on one of our runners' screens here.
Yep, and you'll get some satisfaction as you get to climb up his dead body.
No, he just magnetoed them up there. What do you mean?
He was moving, so yeah, I guess you're right.
He looked like he magneto lifted them up there.
Just a cheerleader boost.
So now we get to the cutscene at the top of Death's Peak here. But what I started to say is that there's a little bit of a misnomer in regards to how much longer Black Omen is than Ocean Palace. Ocean Palace eats quite a bit of time. Like between all the traversing you do, all the boss fights you do on the way to Shell. Like, you'd be shocked how much time just gets eaten up on that path. And so, while it is a little bit faster, I think if they had gotten Go Mode about the same time here, and Physics had gone, and Jazer had gone straight to the Dreamstone, I think it would have been really close, and it would have kind of depended how we landed on, like, Black Tyranno and Twin Golem spot.
Yeah, that twin boss fight can make or break a run. Once you get twin golem boss, and then you're just sitting pretty.
This is a difficult gamble to make on Jazer's side too, just because we still have not junk items, but junk items in the pool, where we still have both of the pieces of the Masamune, and like, when you gamble on a longer dungeon like this, you need it to be you gambling because there's less junk items in the pool, or there's only useful items left in the pool. Making a gamble when like there's still a lot of junk in the pool is a good way to just be real sad at the end when you get a bent hilt or something like that.
Mm-hmm. Because this has
Especially
to be Prism Shard
when we
or Sword Piece. Or Robo's Ribbon.
Yeah, and that's the other thing. We still have Robo's Ribbon. So Robo's Ribbon and both sword pieces. He doesn't know where Clone is, and he doesn't remember where Dreamstone is. So that's like, he kind of thinks he's got a 2 and a 5, but we know he has a lot less than that. It's an unfortunate decision here. But PhysicShebang still has to clear this, and that's not easy.
Now, I'm wondering if he does any grinding somewhere before heading into Black Omen, because you can't really, like, unless, like, if you don't have enough XP from the beginning to end of Black Omen, there's no grind spot on there to rectify it.
Yeah.
Or
yeah,
the mutant
you
grind.
gotta at least be able to get in. And they are gonna do mutant grind. Mutant grind is risky, but very profitable. But we are still missing that AoE. We don't have a good AoE yet.
Yeah, we have these really long animation spells that target 1, maybe 2 people.
Yeah. The trouble is we can't even do like the other grinds that you would think about doing. Aren't much better. Like the conveyor to Genodome, you still need an AoE to take them out. Reptite, you'd still need an AoE to take them out. Like, you're kind of forced to gamble a little bit. Mm-hmm. And so I think that may be part of what Jazer's doing here, is going up low with the hopes of like leaving with all the texts they're going to need for the rest of the seed. It's just unfortunate that we happen to kind of know it's not going to pay off this time.
Commentators curse.
You said you wanted a woe gamble.
You know, I did say that. You're right. This is all my fault. But PhysicShebang is making the most of this triple mutant spawn over here, which I don't think I've seen before in a Jets race.
Yeah, this mutant fight, you have to be fast enough to take advantage of it and with a good enough screen clear. If you don't, it's a little slow, but it still might be our best option here. It's just look how hard we're taking hits.
Mm-hmm. If mutants were bodying me like that, I would have serious doubts about going in a Black Omen too.
The good news is, like, once you get into Omen, like, there's only a few fights you really have to finish, but you kind of would want to take everything you can along the way if you're real early. The good news is we're not really low on levels as much as we are, like, low on tools. We don't have a lot of our useful techs. We don't have, like, any of our good dual techs.
And we do know physics will be getting Flare somewhat soon.
Yeah, this mutant fight is really scary. But that's also why it's such a valuable grind.
Let's see. Is that 2000 XP and 15 tech? Still no Flare on Luca yet.
Alright, Jazer heading up to the big man himself, Giga Gaia. See what we're gonna find here. Probably a sword piece or a prism shard.
Yeah, I feel like
A
at this
Robo
point,
Ribbon would be real sad.
yeah, we gotta see Prism Shard at some point because that plus Sunstone has to give us 2 of the key items as well.
My memory demands that if I see something useful on the bridge, I have to finish it then. Because my memory will not let me go back later. It will not remind me.
And that was probably
Because
physics thought
Jazer,
process too. Just like, I don't need it right now, but I don't want to forget it later. Physics is going right in. Stopped at Melchior for some supplies and is going in. So that's 106.32 for physics. I don't know why I'm keeping track. It's gonna be a while before Jazer's in a go mode.
yeah, and that's the kind of the funny thing here is physics probably forcing himself to head on into Omen here out of fear of being behind. And it's like, little do they know that, like, they've played really well. They've made the choices that got them into this go mode, and that is not the same path their opponent has taken this time.
Yeah, but it is nice to see a runner in the final dungeon around the hour mark. That's a really good sign of a, relatively fair seed. Not too sadistic. I bet Fritz rolled this seed. I missed that in chat when Dalton was on screen. That's phone's king, apparently.
Well, king no more, as Jazer drops out here and finishes off that Dalton fight.
Chrono unfortunately missing out on the tech and XP, but at least they're through it.
Alright, so we do get a Robo's Ribbon drop for Jazer here on the Woe play.
Mm-hmm.
That may also mean, well, if they check Bridge, it won't matter. Bridge or Dinodoro, it won't matter. Oh, I guess Geno has to be Prism Shard. And then Moonstone would be a piece of one of the other, like one of the sword pieces or something. Alright,
Yeah.
Jazer heading to the bridge.
Really all that's left? Yeah, you're right. That's how it has to be.
So that's going to get Jazer on the same path, or on a different path than Physics, but Physics has had some time to really run forward in this go mode.
Yeah, I think Jazer's a little bit ahead on techs, and we'll have a relatively easy go mode, but still pretty long, and Black Omen isn't that hard for runners of this caliber.
It'll be easier once Flare comes up. It is the next tech, and Physics is on the way to it. That tech advantage will not last long.
Yeah.
Yeah, that... Because there's all these fights in this place are worth quite a bit, too.
This is the catch-up dungeon as well.
Yeah, each of the bosses, like... The first boss, they'd get it anyway, because I think it's like 250 tech points for the first boss in here. Something pretty close to that.
Would tech doubling work on that then?
It can, yeah. It can if you happen to get there early enough. You can learn like 2 or 3 techs off of it sometimes.
Yeah, for those who don't know, tech doubling is one of the earliest speed techs, kind of. Is whenever you learn a tech, you basically get the same amount of tech points you just earned again towards the next one. I believe is how it works.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, so it's not really doubling quite, but it does make a huge impact. It's one of the reasons, or one of the things that makes Hecarim Cave so valuable early. Jazer heading into the bridge boss fight as Physics decides to play some carnival games here for XP and tech points.
I mean,
A little
you can
dangerous, but not bad.
He really needs the tech points, so I don't blame him for this. And Marl has a high hit with that bow, so it is possible. Like the boulders, though, they will flee after a certain time.
Alright, they got
gonna
the
clear
important
it.
ones.
Okay.
Yeah, because the big one doesn't even matter. He doesn't give you anything. He's just all the damage that's scary. There's Ice Toss. Ice Toss gives us a real solid answer to end game, along with our other tools we'll have by then. Alright,
and is running away from the next one.
That's going to be Jazer's go mode.
Okay.
The other go mode, we've got to see a whole Tyranno layer before we can get to Ocean Palace. Like I said, I don't know, but there's I think
this is it's basically physics race.
Jazer's going to have to play really well and is going to have some difficult bosses, but we're on the path to go mode for both of these great runners.
Yeah, anything can happen.
Who ends up taking it? Anything could happen because this end game is mean.
Yeah,
and
if you,
when we
you
walked
saw the
into
last
this
game.
place, oh yeah.
So top pack was in the lead.
Walked in at level 23 and 21 on their party, so not super over leveled for coming in here. It's not like you're walking through here at 26 or 27 before you hit the bosses. Like they've got to make sure they can get through all these end game bosses.
Yeah, I would be taking a lot more of these fights along the way if I was physics. But yeah, what I was saying before is like the previous Gato Cup semifinal, top pack was in the lead with 6 minutes on third place, and just spent a lot of time menuing and in the shops. That was one of the big difference makers. But there's only one more shot from here to the end, so it's not as big a deal here. Cybot confusing Luca on the elevator. Oh, and Ayla. But they're through it. Okay.
And we're out, yeah.
And Jazer nailing this route through Tyranno Lair. You'll notice the precise movement here, setting up all these skips and nailing them. We have a Masamune fight. So hopefully Chrono has Wind Slash if they even need it.
Yeah, I don't think they will with Flare under their belt.
Well, let's see how much damage it does. We don't have Sunshades or anything. 1700, okay. Oh, Chrono's Luminaire. Okay. I missed that earlier.
It won't be super handy. Chrono, unfortunately, his magic stat is not good.
Yeah.
So his spells really rely on levels, which you just don't get in this.
Mm-hmm. And it's funny, on physics side, they did just pick up Sunshades. So the gear is being kind of physics at least.
No status protection, which we may or may not need.
Yeah. This shop has a guaranteed amulet, so I wonder if we buy one. If we can afford one. Didn't buy the amulet, just bought a bunch of elixirs.
No save from Jazer before the Black Tyranno.
But the bold move caught him.
Alright, that's going to bring Jazer to the Black Tyranno fight. While Physics is going to do kind of their loop around here before the first boss.
Yep, and you know we have boss randomizer on. The Black Tyranno fight is always Black Tyranno.
Yep. We have some random HP to deal with him, and we have a random element on his big charge-up attack. So a couple things we kind of have to deal with on a per seed basis here. Physics getting Flare, which is perfect. You just want to have it so that you can choose some of these fights that you have to kind of get into. You can now start to decide, do I want to save 5 or 6 seconds, or do I want to like get the tech points for this fight? Once you have Flare, you can kind of start making those.
Physics is nailing these skips, well, I say that, and doesn't. We'll see if they run from this one. Nope, yep, right away.
11k health on the Black Tyranno. It can roll up to 13. So 11's kind of in the middle.
Yeah, it could be worse. Let's see how much damage Flare's doing. Is that 1400 something? Yeah, 1480-ish, we'll call it. So it should still take a few cycles here, but they should be able to DPS it down before the big bang attack.
We will have to see. They're dealing with pretty low speed. They're not going to get a lot of turns during this countdown.
Yeah, you're right. Although, don't they have haste helms on 2 of them? Yeah, Chrono and Luca are glowing red.
Yeah, it looks like it.
Okay, Physics taking a hallway fight here.
Yeah, these are those fights I was talking about. Where it's
okay.
like, if you have to start the fight, like, it's the difference between holding run or watching the flare animation. Might as well get some. Hey, that gets Jazer
I didn't realize you could run
through.
for so many of these fights.
That's going to send Jazer on their path up to Zeal at 120.34.
Mm-hmm. So yeah, if they can get their act together, they'll be in their final dungeon pretty soon. There's always a temptation to do a lot of shopping and getting tabs from the news and all that when you're in Hasa. And Kajar.
I think after that woe, Jazer is going to, whether it would actually be true or not, Jazer would feel behind. I think we're going to see as much cutting out of that type of stuff as we can. Probably still swing by the shop, but I don't think we're going to see a lot of action as far as shopping goes. Just because that woe play into remembering that Dreamstone was there would have you thinking your opponent got the Dreamstone right when you went to woe. You know what I mean?
Exactly.
And we happen to know that that's not exactly how it's gone down, but Physics did find that go mode pretty early and was like decisive about it, about going to Dinodoro early.
Yeah. I think Jader just sold an Aeon suit. Maybe intentionally. Is gonna buy extra stats protection. Looks like bought a Mega Elixir. Okay. And is gonna keep on moving.
Yep, get us a speed tab and a free shelter. Passing over that pad, and then head on to the single golem spot.
That was a full heal pad, right?
Yes.
The Magic Man's Enertron. Okay, Physics is this the beginning of the boss gauntlet for Physics?
There's 3 bosses in Black Omen. So they've been fighting this one for just a minute here. They're about to finish it off. And then they'll have another elevator and a section before a double boss. Like a two bosses back to back. And then that'll put them into like the final boss gauntlet. Jazer hitting the single golem spot and finding Yakra. It's 1 of 3 down for Physics. On the other hand, Jazer has 2 boss fights, including the one he's in, and an elevator before the including the twin golems spot, and then they'll go into their final boss 3-part gauntlet. Here's that second elevator for Physics. Get somewhere between 0 and 3 encounters on here. And if I'm Physics, I'm hoping to get a couple encounters here that I can just flare my way through.
Yeah, I get these last few levels. You're gonna want to take down Zeal.
Ice 2 would go a long way because I think it's part of Antipode 2, if I'm not mistaken. And Antipode 2 will be one of our strongest tools for Zeal 2.
Right, because that is a dual tech that targets just the face of Zeal. If I'm correct. Yeah.
So now
Well,
Physics
faces are
enters this room, and then we'll head into our next boss, the end of this section here. Jazer heading down to the grind. We'll have to hit a couple switches, head to the grind spot, do the elevator.
Mm-hmm. We're in the end game now. Jazer made surprisingly good time. But Physics is close to their end here.
Yeah. And Jazer has a lot bigger walls in front of him. Lavos is a much less predictable boss than Zeal.
Literally, one of its moves is to summon attacks from a random boss throughout time. Oh, Jazer's at the grind spot. How many fights do you think they take here?
That I'm not sure on. We'll have to see, because they have, like, kind of all hinges on how they feel and how strong they feel. They did just get Ice 2, so
And
they've got all
Antipode
the
2?
tools they need. Yeah, so that
They're
may
going.
just send them down.
I didn't see what the item drop was, if there was any. I know I've seen speed tabs drop at that fight before.
Alright, we got 5 bosses left on Physics' side as we head into... This is back-to-back bosses here. We get one boss, and then the next room has another boss. And then we get our end-game gauntlet. So Physics just needs to put his head down, kind of grind away, just like be decisive and do what you know works on each of these bosses. That's going to be everything. Just maintaining this advantage.
Yeah.
Giga Gaia can be pretty scary in spots that you're not used to him, but thankfully we've got Flare now. And we have stuff like Ice Toss if we wanted to just go for his head. As Jazer continues down.
If they should be approaching their elevator. Which, how are they going to handle the scouter fights there, you think?
Old-fashioned way. You're going to have to use like fire and water one. And stuff like Confuse or Spin Cut or Cyclone on Chrono. And you're going to have to do it slow. Probably have to kill the water and lightning scouters first so that then you can flare all the fire ones dead at the same time. But yeah, you're just going to kind of have to do it the old-fashioned way.
Me trying to save MP as a kid. Slap, hit him with the head, you know, spunk him.
And this is where Life 2 comes in handy for Physics.
Yep, that gives him back with full life. Oh yeah, the big guy has another 6,000 HP to chunk through.
Doing not quite 2k a flare. This is one of those fights where, like, I really think Ice Toss would be doing heavy damage if you were able to do the dual tech with them. But it's a matter of just kind of knowing what tools you have at your advantage. And knowing what's good, like what works well. Some of those dual techs are only kind of situationally useful. It's easy to forget about them. I'm that way about Spire sometimes. with Frog and Chrono, and it can be like really reliable in certain fights, especially early.
Yeah, I always forget about that one too. This could be
Red
it,
Pen's kind of the same thing with Luca Frog. I kind of forget about it. And there it goes. Giga Gaia down.
Getting a common arrow and an
255
Aeon
tech
Helm for the
points.
trouble. There's Cube
There's Ice
Tots.
2.
But at least we have the right tools to hopefully get through the rest of this gauntlet on physics side.
Absolutely.
Yeah, and you're right, Jazer is doing this single target at a time, the scouter fight. Normally you want some sort of...
But it is killing, leaving up the
non-elemental
water
screen.
ones.
Oh, yeah, there you go.
Alright, Physics heads into the last fight that's not part of the end boss gauntlet.
We got a
Jazer eating some counterattacks for lightning on the wrong color scouter, unfortunately. It's gonna slow things down a little bit here.
Yeah, it's a painful fight for this team.
And this ought to be Nizbal 2 on our right side here with Physics. Should be fine now that we have tools like Antipode 2 and Ayla the Human Pharmacy to throw ethers.
And tonics.
Yes, and tonics. Jazer heading to the scouter skips here.
Sleepy nails
It's all in the walk
solid.
down. That is everything to that skip. So if you're struggling to learn it, it's all in walking down from the switch until you bump them.
That was smooth though. That is much harder than it looks. It always worries me because like it looks like the fight's about to activate, but you just walk on out.
Alright, Physics is through. So Jazer has the twin golem spot and a Lavos gauntlet between him and victory in this first round of Gato Cup finals. Whereas PhysicShebang has just a 3-part Zeal gauntlet here.
Mm-hmm. Just wondering who we're gonna see here. Oh. Is that double Nizbel? Double Nizbel too, okay.
Yeah, Nizbal 2 was just up on Physics side, wasn't he?
Yep. Is that supposed to happen?
I guess so. Some quick gear changes on PhysicShebang's side. Does not have the abundance of haste gear.
But does have blue mail
does.
for everybody. So Hexagon
and
this will not
Prism
be an issue.
specs. As we head in. Now this first phase obviously isn't going to be much of a problem. Mammon Machine is all about just playing it correctly and making sure you don't get bide used on you. And then everything will come down to that Zeal 2 fight as Jazer finishes off the double Nizbal 2s.
And unlock Delta Force
And
right at the end on Jazer's side.
And we'll head into the Lavos Shell fight. So Jazer has 3 pretty challenging fights in front of him here.
Meanwhile, Physics has pretty straightforward first 2 fights and then a semi-difficult final.
Mm-hmm.
Wow, this has been a crazy run.
4K hits.
On what?
Luca and Ayla there. I think it was Blaze Kick.
Ooh, yeah. And I think someone in chat says they put prison specs on Ayla. So hitting like a truck for sure.
Dual Mammon machines on screen.
Oh my gosh. You love to see it. So, like, technically, they are both in their final boss fights. Jazer has, unfortunately, a longer one to run through here. But it took a lot of skill for these runners. You know, give them a follow. They're working hard for your money here.
Everyone show me your favorite emote this week.
Okay.
Yeah, I need to see everyone's favorite emote this week. Mine is always going to be this one.
Wee, spinny, spinny.
Alright, obstacle comes out. And it is lock. Not the worst if you have a stack of heals.
Yeah.
If you have not come across a stack of heals, it's a little tougher.
Can
We see
Marl still use
drop
items with
on
lock?
physics side. You can, yep.
Okay, I think we don't even care to change it, honestly. Like, don't even waste the heal.
Alright, we get through the second phase for physics. It all comes down to Zeal 2. 20k health. You're in a 10k health damage race. And if you lose that race, it's gonna hurt.
Oh, yeah.
But we've got good tools as Jazer sprints to the back of Lavos.
Did we catch Physics' final levels on their team?
I did not know.
Okay. I think, what, Blaze
But you're
picked for the
usually
win here?
looking for about 500 health for these endgame bosses. The closer to 500 health you are, usually the safer you are, depending on your gear. And we are at really nice health values for physics.
Yeah.
Hitting for
Ayla alone is
a little
hitting
over
close
2k.
to 2200, yeah.
Yeah, that's pretty good.
See what Blaze Kick can do. Don't think maybe
Should do
3500?
hopefully that same 4k.
4K. Oh, right. Yeah. And we have prototype Cell on Jazer's side, Lavos 2. Saw Nasty Banana come out, but no one's down yet.
Alright, we've got a little over 1,000, between 1,000 and 1,500 left on the damage race on physics side to avoid that hexagon mist. To know you've won, you want to watch for that halation.
Mm-hmm. I think he put blue mail on everybody first. Oh, that's rough.
I would just life 2 here for safety.
Yeah, I mean, what else is Marl supposed to do here except keep everyone happy and healthy?
Jazer getting through Lavos 2.
Let's see if they get their menu glitch skip here. Not skip, just menu glitch. There's a small window here on Jazer's side where you can get to the menu and heal up before the final fight. It's after
Physics
the screen
really
goes
needs to get back to doing damage here, because another hexagon mist will come. I know that's not the huge danger, but the auto attacks, the dark gear, all can be along
that
the
should
way.
push the phase. Yep, here it is.
Yep, they already got hit by the hexagon, so that phase is out anyway, but they still have to worry about the second one coming.
Right.
But, like you said, they've got blue mail, so it
No!
shouldn't be so bad.
The hand kills Ayla before the Mega Elixir procs.
Yep.
And Luke loses our MP. Ooh. This
That's
is tough.
fixable.
It's
That's easy to
fixable.
fix. Good life 2, throw an elixir. A couple elixirs. We bought them. Gotta use them. This is
I kind of...
Jazer's time to take down center bit and try to get that defense down. But it would be... It's in Physics' hands right now. The fate of this race. We see the double elixirs come out after the life 2. It's going to put them in a good spot to be able to get back to blaze kicking, and we should only be about 2.5 blaze kicks away from the finish here.
Yep, Marl's probably gonna drop a heal on her turn and then blaze kick for maybe the win. As Jazer does take out center bit, so is able to start damaging Lavos.
Yep, and doesn't look like he's going to have to waste turns healing much or filling MP, which can be a real bear.
Mm-hmm.
We're going to see Fire Sword 2 come out. But PhysicShebang looking to finish this seed off. Triple kick comes out.
There it is,
That is
time.
a finish for PhysicShebang. We will get an official time, and we'll let you know what that is in just a moment. From the
1:40:46 for PhysicShebang. GG's.
Excellent. As Jazer continues this difficult Lavos 3 fight.
Here we go. Gotta switch the audio over to Jazer now. Cool. The Lavos 3 does have like the fire music track. They're gonna be within 4 minutes tops of each other. Oh no, that's it. That is less than a minute. Oh no, sorry, a little over a minute. I got excited. 1:41:53, so a minute and 7 seconds. That's all the difference was in the end. That's insane. What a great race. GG's in chat for the runners. Give it up.
Yeah, absolutely.
Oh, wow.
Strong finish from both runners.
Hopefully we'll get the runners in chat here for a post-race interview. But yeah, so this is a best of 3, so it just means that Physics is up 1 for the Gato Cup final here. Ooh. I don't know if we don't have the next one scheduled, but check your calendars.
Yeah, be watching the Jets of Time Discord. We'll have info about when the next round is for the finals of the Gato Cup here, and we'll have some more Gato Cup action coming. As these two may end up taking it to a best of 3. We'll have to see how the next race goes. Give me
It would not
just a
surprise
moment
me.
here.
Yep. So we're waiting to see. Hopefully, if
All right.
we can get someone in here.
We're gonna bring physics up. PhysicShebang. How is it going?
AcidCrab, it's going. That was an exceptionally stressful zeal that I was not having fun with. I mismenued one time and almost threw the entire seed. And
It's wild. It's
and
wild.
I
And when she decides to knock one of your characters down while you're waiting for the MP buster, like you didn't even do the risky thing, and you still kind of got penalized for it.
yeah, when I did it, when I hit triple kick instead of blaze kick, I'm like, that's what loses races. And then I almost wiped. And I was like, yeah, this is the I did this. This was my fault. I accept all of these penalties that I am receiving right now. So yeah, that seed was not fun.
It was really mean in that it didn't give you any like boss tools for the first 3/4 of it.
No, just throwing bombs. That was it. For most of the seed, it was just throwing bombs. This is the worst tech offense I have ever seen in any seed I've ever played of this game.
Yeah. No, I totally agree. It was rough. It felt like a Lost World seed in the way it just didn't give you the stuff that you expect to have by the end. You're like going through Black Omen hoping to get flare so that you can get through everything efficiently, but you handled it really well. And the biggest question I have is, did you think about keeping Ayla early? And was it kind of like the fact that Robo had your only AoE kind of the thing that kind of kept you from making that switch earlier?
That is exactly it. Since I didn't have Robo Ribbon, I'm really hesitant to ever keep Robo in general. So I shelved her because he had laser spin and I didn't have any other way to do clear. And I was like, well, once I get Fire 2 or Ice 2, I'll just pull her in and everything will be great, right? And then that just never happened until the very end of Omen. So yeah, eventually I was like, well, this just isn't going to happen. We're just going to start our go mode. Let's pull Ayla in and just like see what happens. And
yeah, I liked that play. Did you at any point, something that my co-commentator Pyrexia had asked kind of along the way was if you would check the character in the future, because we happened to know it was Chrono, and that Chrono fit really nicely into this team as kind of a Robo replacement. Now you had the Ayla from earlier. Was there any part of you that thought about checking that dome, or did you already feel behind at that point?
oh, you guys must have missed it. I did check it eventually. So,
Oh, I'm sorry.
yeah, after I finished up with, I always want to call it Mount Doom, Death Peak. I was like,
I'm sorry, I did miss it if you did it after Death Peak.
Because I was like, how am I going to deal with the orbs at the start of Omen? I was like, those things just trash me. And I didn't really piece it together that I could just throw a bomb on half of them and just hope I survive the rest. So
I've never actually seen it done quite that way before. So
yeah,
I was
no AoE.
Really happy to run into that.
I wanted to find Magus who would have Dark Mist or, any AoE that I could just blast on those things, but I saw Chrono and I was like, no thank you, and I just left. And then I was like, I still don't know how to deal with the orb thing, so I went and fought a couple mutants because I've heard good things about those, and they were giving me 15 and I needed like 70, and it wasn't even for Fire 2. So I was like, I'm just gonna see what happens with these bombs and maybe I survive. And then it went fine and it was just going through. But you saw me check my menu like 5 times, my tech menu, just doing math in my head. Am I gonna learn Fire 2 before I get to Zeal?
Yeah.
And it was just barely.
The answer is almost always yes, because you get like 700 tech points from bosses, but it's still really scary when it's like last tech and it's critical to your team.
It was close. I got it on the last boss there, and only by about 20 tech points.
Wow.
So I still had the last.
So you got it
because
you got it because those eyeballs, you thought.
Yeah, that was actually Fitz said maybe we take some eyeballs, and then I managed to kill 2 of them, and I was like, oh yes.
There was one other moment that was funny where you got flare, and we were talking about how much or where you would grind along the way, and I was like, I think this is a situation where any fight they have to start, they'll just finish with flare. And then that's exactly what you did, like going through kind of the after the eyeball room. You like went down, started any fight you had to start, you just blasted it apart for the XP and TP. And I'm like, that's exactly what I would have done. So that was brilliant. I'm going to see if we can get Jazer in just for a minute here, and then we'll wrap things up tonight and be ready for the second match. Give me just a moment here, guys. I'll be right back.
Sure.
Physics, are you feeling confident going into game 2 now?
Absolutely not.
That's the right answer.
The main reason being, Jazer took a much more roundabout path, and I still won by 1 minute. So
1 minute and 7 seconds. Don't sell yourself short.
Oh, you're right. 1 minute 7 seconds. You're right. Yeah, I gotta make sure I count every second here. But yeah, he did much more of a roundabout trip to get where he got, and it was still very narrow. So we'll see how it goes. I mean, that's the thing with jets, is that sometimes you get really linear seeds and sometimes you just do not. You know, you can just make the right choices like I did Danadoro, and you just end up with an early go mode that way, you know?
Mm-hmm.
And welcome Jazer to the call, everybody. Jazer, how do you feel? That was a really difficult first 75% of the seed with text and characters.
There's GG's physics.
GG.
GG's.
It was interesting seed. Don't think I've ever had a Valkyrie come in that clutch. Carried significant portion of the seed.
The coolest part about your run was your, like, when you pushed your advantage to go to future, you're like, you knew to check that character and to try to fix, like, your team had speed issues, and I just loved that you went and found Chrono and were like, oh yeah, that fits great in here. That was really brilliant, because that's not something a lot of people, I think, like, you get 45 minutes into a seed and like they are like, well, I can't switch characters now, and like sometimes I think that can really shoot you in the foot. So I thought that was a brilliant choice to like repair your team out of that without having to go do Cathedral.
Yeah, I thought Meryl Luca could get me to the future or the prehistory, Gatekeeper or Pendant, and then from there I would just pick up Protodome or Dactyl's Nest was my plan, and I just stuck to it.
Absolutely. No, and there were a couple times that it, you know, you could have found that other go mode too, or you did end up finding that other go mode, but like you were kind of on the hunt for that last piece for a minute. I really liked kind of how everything came together for you at the end. And then you did gain a lot of levels and stuff from Woe. You came out like just smacking Black Tyranno apart, pushing through in-game bosses really quick. So to have finished that close with a Woe extra, like compared to your opponent, is like really impressive to be able to do that. So to be able to do all that and still come so close. I know the levels both helped and hurt you in like the time they cost versus like the time they saved you in fights, but just really well played into game from both runners tonight.
Yeah, I didn't have to grind at all because of the levels, and I think I got at least one speed tab up there, and all of my speed tabs did matter. All of them were relevant.
Well, you got 2 haste helms for your pendant too, for checking those, and that was huge. 2 haste
helms was Eris Dome, and yeah, definitely massive.
That was wild.
Tons of things over.
I actually didn't believe it, because sometimes if you open 2 chests quick back to back, it'll show the same item twice. So I didn't believe that it was 2 haste helms at first. And so I was like, no, let's not get excited yet until he equips them, and then you did. But that was an amazing race to catch. I can't wait to see race 2 and then even potentially race 3 at the end of this, and can't wait to see who comes out on top. But thank you guys so much for volunteering your time for racing, and all the staff and our tracker, Nate. Thank you guys all for kind of showing up and hanging out with us tonight. And keep an eye on the Discord for announcements for like the next race, and then there will be more events coming on later throughout the summer as well. So thank you guys so much. Pyrexia, is there anything else you wanted to say before we call it a night here?
Just keep an eye out for also, isn't June's going to be the Lost Worlds Clash?
Yes, the Lost Worlds Clash starts pretty much at the start of June, and you can find more info on the Discord, but that should be a fun time too. It's kind of about getting people paired up with someone about their skill level for some live races, and I think it'll be a good time.
Yeah, so looking forward to that, and GG's to the runners. Can't wait for game 2, and see you next time.
See y'all
GGs.
later.
And thanks for the restream, everybody. Appreciate it.
Yeah, GG's. Thanks for the restream. All the work that
You're
goes into
welcome.
it.